One of the missing link, and a very vital missing link we have, is the attitude of the political class. Because for any electoral process to work, you have the laws, you have the EMBs, you have the voters, and you have everybody that would have to do one or two things along that electoral value chain, including security, of course. But you see that along the value chain, all the stakeholders and the roles that are playing are making efforts to make things better. But the people who benefit from the entire work that we all put together to have this electoral process are not making any effort. Rather, when you look at processes that lead to the election that now involves every Nigerian, because before the election we go out to vote, the political parties need to have their own elections that they call primary elections. So look at what happens in primary elections. Political parties have constitutions that they never follow. They never follow it. So it's not about the democracy itself. It's about going back to the olden days and how they do things. So within the political party, we need to see that sincerity of purpose for this reforms to happen. Then you look at the security agencies itself. You have a situation where you are on field and something is happening, and you get there's a constitution that empowers a security agent to arrest anybody that is found within a crime scene or is seen to be perpetrating some kind of criminality. And you go to the election, you see somebody flouting the Electoral Act itself, flouting the constitution, and carrying out acts of criminality. And the security officer says, I have to wait until the INEC official says this is a crime before you can do something. So we need to look at the political class and the security agencies to ensure that everybody understands that it's a collective responsibility to make our electoral processes work. And this is what the problem has been the last 25 years.
I want us to also look at, one sour point in the whole of our electoral process, and that's the issue of, campaign financing, and and all the registration, all the issues that involve money. I know that sometimes, I don't know which of the electoral acts now, maybe the one of maybe 2006, I'm not so sure, that dealt with that put a ceiling on the amounts that could be used during campaigns. But so far I don't know, you want to speak on that, whether that reform is worth it? Is it working?
In fact, the present electoral act that we are implementing now talks about this. Yes, talks about its ceiling and even increase it. So that all the complaints of the political class to say, oh, Nigeria is such a big country. As a presidential candidate, you need to do campaigns. You need to go to the 36 states, including the FCT, making it 37. And so that ceiling was raised up a little bit. But you see, the political class again come back to argue that money is not even enough. So you have a situation whereby the political class sits down and determines what their campaign finance should be. And again, that issue around, supporting, giving donations to political parties, the Electoral Act has also been able to define that and look at what is the maximum that you can give. In the past, you used to have, big companies, CEOs go to parties, they call it fundraising programs, and they give at will. Now, you don't see that happening. I can say we see that decreasing, but it's not addressing the issue of political campaign financing. Because what you now see is that rather than put money for proper campaign financing, just like voter education, ensuring that citizens know how to vote so that you don't get voided votes. In fact, the responsibility of doing that is not just for civil society, but for the politicians who benefit from that process. They need to vote money, but what do they vote money for? They do a donor basket vote to buy votes. So that when it is time for campaigning, you just go do the form fair, print t-shirts, and then you keep money to buy votes. And then you see somebody selling votes or buying votes on election day. And the security agent say, oh, I don't know if that is a crime unless INEC official that is busy conducting the election tells me that is a crime, when there's a law that has already said when you see criminality, arrest it and address it immediately. So this is really a very big challenge, and definitely the issue of political party financing has become an issue that everyone should look at, and we are actually looking at it very closely.
Yes,